The Motor City Machine Guns made their WWE debut on last night's SmackDown. There is said to be no creative for this WWE star, and we have an update on the potential of WrestleMania in London. Stay tuned, it's time for the news. After weeks, what felt like a lifetime of vignettes, it happened last night. The Motor City Machine Guns making their WWE debut on SmackDown in a tremendous little triple threat tag match taking on the teams of Los Garza and A-Town Down Under. Great to see him, isn't it?
Yeah, it feels like it's been such a long time coming, but I mean, they're finally here. We got to see all of the nice vignettes with like speedometers and cars, and who could it possibly be with all these shots of Detroit? Yeah, I mean, better late than never, right? And I'm kind of happy they didn't go the conventional NXT route that we thought they were going to potentially do. That was always sort of teased in the build-up to them coming in, was they're going to do NXT, and it'd be amazing, obviously, some great matches. But I think that fluidity now between the main roster and NXT means that if they want to face an NXT team, they can just go, oh, can we go down there for 2 weeks? And
yeah, for sure. I sort of... I couldn't make my mind up because like NXT, they could totally rejuvenate the tag team division, which is already pretty good. Well. Yeah, exactly, right? They're coming in, they've got all this experience. They've been doing it since 2006 on the Indies, 2007 in TNA, and they could have been brilliant in NXT, but actually, you've got a finite amount of time with these two lads, haven't you? What's amazing about them is that I think a lot of fans started watching them in 2007 when they started for TNA, and they were consistently brilliant. It's taken close to 20 years to get them here, but they're two guys who don't feel in any way like a nostalgia act. It's been that long. They've been just so consistently brilliant.
Aged like a fine wine.
Oh, they're so handsome, aren't they?
Most of the time, everybody ages like milk in terms of the in-ring dynamics and everything, and they are very handsome. But I think that when you look at them, it does feel like they've just kind of grown. It's not like they're missing a step. They're just evolved.
Yeah, they're class. I think as far as presentation goes, I think WWE killed it last night. They gave him a little bit of pyro. First impression of the theme, I like it personally.
Yeah, it feels similar to their old theme. It's just
they kept the pew 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 pew, all that good stuff,
and the pyro kind of did it with them.
It's difficult to do cool in wrestling, isn't it? Yeah. Lots of people pretend to be cool in wrestling, and it doesn't quite work.
There's like a fine line, because if you go too far over the line, and it's like this guy's cool, nobody's gonna think they're cool, right?
Shelley and Sabin, it's just effortless, isn't it? They're legit. As far as the match goes, well worth your time. Really, really fun little match. They picked up the win, of course, which means they progress to take on DIY, which then is a number one contenders match, and they will go on to face the tag team champions, the Bloodline. They did chat about their SmackDown debut on the SmackDown Lowdown. In case you missed it, both members of the Motor City Machine Guns commenting.
It's pretty surreal, says Chris Sabin. I'd like to say it's a dream come true, but it's more than that. It's a goal accomplished for us. It might have taken over 20 years to get here and get to this position, but being one match away from number one contenders for the WWE Tag Team Championship, that's pretty crazy. Just saying it out loud kind of blows my mind a little bit.
Alex Shelley said, we take things one step at a time, but DIY is exactly why we came to WWE. What a nice little rub. Exactly why we want to declare ourselves the best tag team on the planet, because we beat all the great tag teams that already exist in the WWE universe. So I apologize to you in advance, DIY, but you're looking at the next WWE Tag Team Champions. You should be apologizing to the Bloodline too.
I don't think anybody would argue with it at all. I'd be well happy to see them just come in and take the belts and go on a little dominant run.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. I couldn't agree more. I think you do put the belts on them. There are so many dream matches for DIY. I'm just buzzing, honestly. I was watching it with the biggest grin on my face this morning. I was like, it's actually happened, because I probably wrote it off happening 7-8 years ago.
Well, it's been something that's been talked about for eternity. So it's like you just get to a point where it's like it probably won't ever happen, and at this point I'm okay with it. But no, it's here. It's happened, and we've got MCMG in WWE, and we've got all manner of things they can be doing, all manner of teams they can be working with.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's great. Bit of an announcer change.
Split him up in the draft.
Stop it. Bit of an announcer change on last night's SmackDown. Corey Graves announcing that Michael Cole was on special assignment and as a result would not be present on the show. Instead, Wade Barrett calling the action alongside Graves. We put this in the news document. It's notable because this doesn't really happen very often with Michael Cole. He's only missed a handful of WWE events since he joined the company in 1997. I think it's either 3, 4, or 5 that he's missed in that entire.
It's a very
tiny amount. He last missed a show during Raw's season premiere last October, personal commitment. Before that, it was September 2017 when he attended his son's wedding. So whatever's going on, hopefully it's nothing.
Something positive. Hopefully he's had a nice night off, and
he got pissed up the night before.
Maybe that would be really funny.
You were saying
when my internal sources. When I read Special Assignment, I just got that scene from Mission Impossible where he's descended down the shaft, but it's cold. But he's doing the loud announcer voice while trying to break into some building.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So hopefully it's not. I think it's a notable thing, and we send our very best to Michael Cole. Hopefully he had a good night. No creative said to be in motion. Nothing for a WWE star by the name, and this is gutting, by the name of Baron Corbin. A report from Fightful saying that he has been off WWE TV because of lack of creative for him. They said that he's ready to wrestle. Initially, it's noted that he didn't like the team with Apollo Crews, but that mindset has changed. But they've not been paired together in months. He's simply waiting on creative to have his storyline ready to go. You've not seen him on your screens since all the way back 30th of August in a tag loss to Los Garza, teaming with Apollo Crews, of course.
As long as they're working towards something for him, that's all I care about. He's somebody who's come back from like weird creative positions before, managed to make the most of it. So I think that
weird's a nice word.
Weird's a very nice word. Yeah, really bad creative before, and he's managed to turn it around and make the most of it. And he had a great run through NXT. I just feel like there has to be something he can be doing on the main roster. Maybe the time isn't now, but there should be something we can be doing to keep him kind of bubbling away, right?
You'd hope so. I really liked his stuff with Bron and NXT. I'm going to agree with you on the crap creative front.
Bring back the dog food.
I think they killed him. I think they've really done him a disservice because Baron Corbin's just a guy who got into feud after feud, lost all the feuds, and it's halted his momentum time and time again, where to a lot of fans, and I don't feel this way, I know you don't feel this way, he became a bit of a joke. He wasn't that much of a threat, and lots of people don't watch NXT, so they won't have seen his stuff with Bron Breakker. Main roster-wise, Baron Corbin is in a really tricky position.
I think that he's somebody that seems to have always done whatever the company asked of him.
Totally. He took
the blame for Raw being bad, remember that?
Yeah.
But it was your fault, Baron Corbin. And we're going to listen to the viewers now. But no, I think that maybe it is just a case of they need that cool down period. Maybe it needs to be a bit of an extended break from TV and have him come back and re-debut as more in line with his initial phase as a bit of a monster, maybe, but
do the Lone Wolf stuff.
The dynamic performances he's been given, I think it'd be a bit crap to just throw him back into that. So maybe you need shades of what he's capable of doing now, but maybe bring some of that back. We started to see a little bit of it toward his NXT, like the end of his NXT run with the bike again and everything. So it was like,
the guy's legit. Like, I really do think he's
a great
amazing.
Instagram follow as well.
He is. He loves his steak and stuff, doesn't he? I think one person that you could perhaps compare him to is The Miz, right? Yeah. Another solid, company guy who loses a lot, but he was given big wins. And it helped legitimize him in the way that Baron Corbin, he's not had that. No. All he had really was the protected finisher. He had end of days that nobody kicked out of. Drew kicked out of, also on main roster. But they didn't give him any big accolades. And I think he could have really done with that. The guy is a monster in the nicest way possible, right? I did that interview with him years ago now. And he's got 3 inches on me. He's got head like a watermelon. He is massive.
Former football player, isn't he?
In the night, no. But all the other wrestlers down there, and I know we were Performance Center where I did those interviews, and it's all NXT, vanilla, you know what. But no, he towered above everybody, and I know it's not about being big. I know. I've got that mindset still. Apparently,
we're from an era where that was like, oh my god, you're huge.
So but he is. He is. But anyway, right. Yeah. Best of luck to Baron Corbin. I think he's class. I think he's got one of the best movesets in WWE. Yeah. He really is amazing. We're going to finish off with a little story about WrestleMania in London, and it's not good news, unfortunately. You may have missed it, you may not. Cody Rhodes appearing on BBC 5 Live this week, talking about the possibility of WrestleMania in London.
He said, if I'm aiming, it would be cool to get it in the next 5 years. There's some really big venues over here that could host WrestleMania. I think American fans would jump at the chance to come to a WrestleMania, whether it be in Manchester or London. I think they'd go nuts for it.
Wrestling Observer newsletter adding, there is a real talk of that, what Cody's talking about, but when Roger Goodell talked about the idea of Super Bowl at Wembley Stadium when it comes to WWE, they are now in a distant second place when it comes to priorities in the city. So it's dropped down a peg. The fact that he's saying, oh, maybe in 5 years' time, it's not happening anytime soon. Piss off, Cena.
Yeah, it's understandable that they would prioritize the Super Bowl. You're talking
No, it's not. I don't care about the Super Bowl.
You're talking about an unprecedented amount of money, like, compared to WrestleMania for the Super Bowl.
It's not about money, it's about wrestling. It's about Flow Rider.
Oh, we're going to miss out Flow Rider in London. He's not going to be around in 5 years. Him and Pitbull are going to be on walkers and everything. But when you look at it from that kind of financial standpoint, Wembley already has the relationship with the NFL. They're already running games there a couple of times a year. And this is the thing, is everybody's kind of like, WrestleMania outside of North America, never going to happen. Super Bowl outside of North America is another thing I don't see ever happening. And I think that would cause maybe more of a fuss than WrestleMania in London would cause in the wrestling world.
Yeah, with losers. Who cares?
But I think that should the NFL look to host Super Bowl in London, then it's going to be a case of WrestleMania is just going to have to wait, and it's going to suck. And I really, really, really want WrestleMania in London. It'd be nice to do SummerSlam here, of course, but I don't really want a secondary show now. You've dangled WrestleMania. WrestleMania.
SummerSlam 92 is my favourite pay-per-view ever.
But it's not WrestleMania.
No, it's not WrestleMania.
No.
Yeah, they have dangled. You're right, they've dangled it.
You've got Royal Rumble as well. We've literally got a royal family. Like, what you... Just give us WrestleMania.
Life's not fair.
No.
Thanks for watching. We'll be back with more news soon.